such a thing as a joke about the death penalty. I'm reminded of an old line from the comedian Ron White, who joked that while some states were outlawing the death penalty, his state, Texas, was putting in an express lane. A bill to outlaw the death penalty in Colorado failed in the legislature this year. And while Arkansas puts in an express lane, executing inmates one after another before their lethal drug injections expire, we look at Colorado. The state still has the death penalty, but I don't know if Colorado could kill somebody if it wanted to. Governor Hickenlooper says he won't execute anyone on his watch, but his watch ends next year. Colorado has its old death chamber in Canyon City. There's no death row there. The 3 men sentenced to die are in the prison at Sterling. An ACLU lawsuit revealed that Colorado struggled to come up with lethal injection drugs a few years ago, and the ACLU says that those drugs would be exponentially harder to get today. A lot of states are struggling with that. Plus, Colorado's death penalty law references a continuous injection of a single drug. It's a single drug the state probably can't get anymore, and the common 3-drug cocktail used elsewhere would certainly be challenged in court. Colorado has executed 1 man in the last 4 decades, Gary Davis, who didn't really fight his execution in 1997. Bottom line, it would be more difficult than ever for Colorado to carry out a rare execution here, even if the next governor is willing. So this is what Colorado's fracking debate has come to. Extra security at a state meeting this week to discuss an anti-fracking ballot question that's being pushed by a guy who says that it's morally responsible to blow up oil wells and eliminate energy workers. Call this observation biased if you want, but I'm just going to say if you're hinting at killing your opponents, you've probably lost the public argument. Anyway, here's politics guy Brandon Ritteman with a scary turn in a serious debate.
The Boulder Daily Camera published a letter to the editor from a man named Andrew O'Connor, who finished his argument against fracking with this. If the oil and gas industry puts fracking wells in our neighborhoods, threatening our lives and our children's lives, then don't we have a moral responsibility to blow up wells and eliminate fracking and workers?
Those workers are the same people who will be in the room at the title setting process.
Deputy Secretary of State Suzanne Steyert has to set up a meeting where O'Connor and the oil industry will both be there, arguing over a tax increase that O'Connor wants to put on your election ballot. That meeting would normally happen in this downtown office building that houses the Secretary of State's office, but Steyert says they have to delay this meeting now and find a space in a secure building with metal detectors because of what O'Connor wrote.
From this point on, that will be a security precaution that we're obligated to take.
The only one who would argue that is some Republican, some conservative hole from oil and gas.
O'Connor, who declined to provide us a photo of himself, told us he wasn't advocating blowing up people, just the oil wells. When he wrote about eliminating workers, he says he meant putting them out of work, not hurting them.
And the Secretary of State is being ridiculous drama queens. It doesn't mean that at all.
The Boulder Daily Camera edited this part of his letter to remove the reference to blowing things up, and the opinion editor there now says it was a mistake to publish it the first time. For Next, I'm Brandon Ritteman.
For what it's worth, there certainly will be a lot more interest in that Friday meeting on the ballot question in the secure building. Is the A-line working today? The train to the plane, as we did explain, seeing less pain and disdain, having attained and sustained what was said to be mundane, working crossing gates, which once did constrain all those who wished in vain to enplane without resorting to the profane. Yes, that train. It's working today. The A-line running smoothly. RTD's POS lines this morning were the E, the F, and the H. Problem started with an electrical malfunction on an overhead line around the Louisiana station, and folks were getting hot, stranded in long lines at stations up and down, all the lines coming up to the north. They were directed to the R train to Bellevue and then on to buses to get to their final destination, or the R to Peoria and then on to the A line. Our new reliable hero train is another way to get downtown. Suffice to say, we saw a lot of people opting for Uber and Lyft instead so that they could make it to work on time. You know that bipartisan compromise plan to fund transportation projects around Colorado? Imploding as we speak at a hearing at the Capitol. The deal would have raised a sales tax to pay for infrastructure. There are rank-and-file Republicans who complained that their leadership signed them on to this bipartisanship without their buy-in, and it looks like they're going to kill it tonight. If you think you saw Air Force One flying around Denver today, you weren't necessarily wrong. But our Noel Brennan's a real stickler for the facts. It's got to be that quality Indiana University Journal of Education is what that is. Anyway, here's Noel in the plane.
Heads were in the clouds today. because Buckley Air Force Base got lots of phone calls.
We did, from both off base and on base as well.
People wanted to know if that plane, spotted over rooftops and mountainscapes,
Yeah, it's always kind of neat to see.
obscured by trees, could it be Air Force One? We asked the colonel.
Well, unlike what I think a lot of people in Denver thought, this was not Air Force One.
Really? But it's got the iconic paint job and the American flag.
The aircraft you saw today was the VC-25. It's a Boeing 747-200. It is the presidential airplane, but the president was not on board.
So technically it's not Air Force One, but it's the same crew.
It's the presidential crew. They were just here for a training mission.
Training here perhaps because of our altitude.
Higher altitude, which is a little bit of a different animal when you're trying to land a big airplane.
Air Force One has been to Buckley before.
I got a chance to go in and take a look around.
But even the colonel can't remember the plane without a president.
I don't recall the last time I ever saw one here in Denver.
A rare sight if you had your head in the clouds.
It's a pretty nice airplane.
For next,
A lot more room than an F-16.
I'm Noel Brennan.
This VC-25 is the old Air Force One that's been in service since 1990. There are two of them. You know, there's been talk of replacing them with a newer version. President Trump tweeted that plan to a standstill when he said he was concerned about the cost. Airline satisfaction ratings are out again, and Frontier Airlines deserves congratulations. It didn't finish last this time, so say it with me. We're number 21. We're number 21 out of 22, but at least we're not Spirit. It doesn't really work as a chant. But while every other newscast out there is going to congratulate the Customer Satisfaction Index winners, JetBlue, Southwest, Alaska, we want to give Frontier some love. Not last. So for all the Frontier customers who say the airline couldn't get any worse, technically it could. Today is National Fill in the Blank Day, but we don't do fake National This and That Day on Next. You know that by now. But I figure it's time we explained why. Plugging businesses on the television news under the guise of some gimmicky national holiday, well, this is why they hate us.
You want the truth? Oftentimes, TV stations are alerted about the bogus national holidays by PR people who are looking to book their people and products on our air to get free ads. Take today, April 25th, National Hug a Plumber Day, National Telephone Day, National Zucchini Bread Day. TV news stations that are looking to fill hours of daily programming are often too willing to dole out that free advertising to a plumber, a phone company, a zucchini bread baker. Ads aren't evil. They fund journalism, but you should know when you're being force-fed an ad. It shouldn't be disguised as a national holiday.
Which leads me to my recommendation, which led me to reconsider a bit my view of these national days. NPR's excellent Planet Money podcast explored the holiday industrial complex. It found that they're not all thinly disguised excuses to pitch products on TV. There are real, ordinary people with real, ordinary passion who pitch some of these national idea days to the groups that compile the calendars. Planet Money made me rethink my instinctive dislike, and you should really listen to the podcast in the link on the Next Facebook page. But don't expect to see Next doing 3 minutes on National Donut Day next week.
I don't want to hear you complain about the forecast, because your lawn is about it.
That's probably one of the first rumors I heard when I moved here is you know, the namings of the street.
Did a town in Colorado really name its streets after prostitutes? And the most Colorado thing we saw today includes two of our great loves, craft beer and dogs. Cheers to that. Next.
Thunderstorms on the plains, heavy snow in the high country. Just another spring day in Colorado. I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin. It is pretty. Cloud cover is pretty, but it's going to bring some rain, some heavy rain. Unless you're in Fort Collins, you're like, what What is she talking about? It's sunny up here. Yeah, it's been kind of a wacky day. There's another storm moving through, and we do expect that the rain showers could mix with snow around 6,000 feet tonight. Highs tomorrow similar to today, a little cooler than average, and we don't expect accumulation here in Denver, but above 6,000 feet. Foothills, areas around Palmer Divide and Castle Rock might see 1 inch of wet, sloppy snow on the grass. Good news for any of the vegetation around the area. Showers are coming from the northwest, tracking toward the southeast. A little bit of hail possible out around Keensburg and Byers. Heavy thunderstorms, heavy rain in southeastern Colorado, and winter weather and travel advisories up for the high country. And that will continue probably right into Thursday and Friday. This is the second of 3 storm systems taking aim at Colorado between now and the weekend. So we say goodbye to April with just kind of a crazy weather pattern. You get a little break tomorrow, though, but tonight, yes, rain could be heavy at times between now and midnight, mixing with snow briefly, and then skies clear after midnight. Some of you will encounter a little bit of patchy fog in the morning, but tomorrow will be a nice day with just isolated late day and early evening showers. Things get a little fun and interesting Friday into Saturday. Tonight, chance for rain, low of 30. Again, quick mix, and then skies clear. Tomorrow morning, no issues for the drive. Temperatures similar to today, near 60. Rain showers on Thursday, rain and snow Friday. Cold, wet snow on Saturday. Could see accumulation. When skies clear Saturday, we could have a hard freeze Saturday night, and that means those of you that did some planting and turned on your sprinklers, well, we said Mother's Day. Come on. And how about this? Loveland Ski Area. Beautiful day up there.
Our next question comes from Steve M. It's a saucy question about street names in Milliken. Steve heard that most of the north-south streets are named after prostitutes who worked at the bordello there in the very early 1900s. Old-fashioned women's names: Josephine, Marjorie, Irene, Olive.
Well, that's a spicy little piece of Colorado history, if true. And if not true, it wrongly suggests that a bunch of people's grandmas in Milliken were hookers. Photojournalist Mike Grady was brave enough to go up there and ask.
Town of Milliken.
Small farming community.
Know a lot about everybody, a little bit about everybody, too much about most.
It's a railroad and agricultural community. It's how it got its start.
Allegedly, there was a brothel of some sort here back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, something along those lines.
What I got told was that
allegedly the street names were named after
prostitutes from back in the day. There's Alice, Irene, Beulah,
Cora, Dorothy, Ethel,
Norma, Alice, Grace,
Frances, Grace, Harriet, Irene.
The main street through town is Broad Street.
I'm Kent Brown. I'm the town administrator with the town of Milliken. What the old-timers say is that it was named for the wives or other family members of the Denver, Laramie, and Northwestern Railroad.
Interesting. I've never heard any other rumor other than that it was the other way.
I'm sure they'll love knowing that that's what we thought of them all these years.
Of course, that doesn't carry much weight with a lot of folks, so then it gets to, well, we'll go with the first story.
It definitely makes for a better story. I don't know what would take for them to okay, we're going to name a street after you. I don't know if they had to do something really good or if they had to do something really bad.
As the city of Denver crusades against dogs and breweries, the county and the suburbs gives the green light to a new way to let dogs play. A Rockies trivia question guaranteed to stump any of your friends who don't watch this show. Also, why are you friends with people who don't watch? And what do you say? Our search for proper pronunciations of place names in Colorado takes us up I-25. Next.
The most Colorado thing we saw today is Jefferson County Zoning's board giving the go-ahead to what's believed to be our state's first brewery with an off-leash play area for dogs. Coal Mine Avenue Brewing and Ken Carroll started with Manuel and Erica Baca's simple idea.
We wanted to be able to take our dogs to work and make beer.
I like it. I like it. I want to be able to do the same, but my workplace doesn't allow. So you guys passed a major hurdle today with the zoning board. Was it a tough sell?
Yeah, it's just been a long wait and a lot of wondering if we were going to make it, but I wouldn't call it a tough sell. Everyone has been really supportive.
If I know anything about new ideas, if this works for you guys, I bet you it's going to get copied like crazy.
We're fine with that. Let's do it.
Make it easier for the next guy.
Once you guys open, I'll be down there with Porter for sure.
Can't wait to meet Porter.
Well, cheers to you guys and cheers to your success, and look forward to your opening soon.
Cheers, Kyle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now on the Rockies bandwagon, longtime fans are being forced to take their feet up off the seat across the aisle. no longer able to stretch out across entire rows of the bandwagon. Don't look now. The Rockies have the best record in the National League, and that bandwagon's going to get crowded. So Rockies fans, long-timers, and newly aboard, fun fact for you. The Rockies' first-round draft pick from 2016 struck out the Broncos' first-round draft pick from 2010 last night. I bet you know one of them. Riley Pint, who plays for the Rockies' low-A affiliate, the Asheville Tourists, struck out Tim Tebow, who is now with the New York Mets' low-A affiliate. How about that? When worlds collide. Riley is 19 years old. Tebow is 29. Two first-rounders facing off in the minors. All right, let's play an old game that you tell us is one of your favorites around here. What do you say when you read the street sign on a major thoroughfare through Longmont? Starts with an H, runs north to south. Sue and Ron both wrote in wondering, is it hover as in lover? Is it hoover as in mover? Or is it hover as in Dover? So we asked Longmont's city clerk, what do you say?
It's pronounced Hover Street. Never heard hover before.
Okay, so if
I've heard Hover and Hoover, but it's Hover Street. Some people call.
So there you have it, settled. Hover Street in Longmont, named for Charles and Catherine Hover, one of the first families to live there. They built a home on the road that's now owned by the Longmont Historic Society. If you have a place name, city, town, river, street, mountain, you've heard different pronunciations, we'll get to it at the bottom of it for you. Email next@9news.com or tweet us with the hashtag #HeyNext. Sign of creativity in fixing a fairly common car problem. Next.
All right, Steve, if I hand you a sugar pill, and I tell you it's migraine medicine and it's going to take care of your headache, do you think it will work?
Probably not.
Keep in mind, a sugar pill is literally what it sounds like.
Well, it's not migraine medicine.
It's not migraine
going to do
medicine.
the trick.
It's sugar. You could toss it in your coffee.
This sounds a lot like a placebo.
It's a placebo.
We hear about that a lot.
Yes.
But I don't think it would work.
The chances are it would help. It may not completely take your migraine away, but the placebo effect is extremely powerful. If you believe that this is migraine medicine and it's going to work, there's a really good chance of it working.
What causes that?
Our brains are incredibly powerful machines, and if we believe that something is going to work a particular way, we're able to convince ourselves that it will work, and then we end up with the physiological and biochemical changes that real medicine would cause. The Prozac, for example, there's been research that has shown that up to 80% of the effectiveness of that antidepressant is just based on the fact that people believe that it's going to work. It's the placebo effect.
So you're saying I could save hundreds of dollars in medications?
As long as you don't know that you're taking sugar pills.
You have to trick yourself.
You have to trick yourself somehow. So get somebody else to buy that migraine medicine for you. Buy the migraine medicine for you. It's really a sugar pill. Then you save yourself a lot of money.
There we go. See? Psychology saving you money.
That's right.
Dr. Max Wachtel, thank you.
And tonight's salute to innovation, props to the driver who lost a headlight around town and rigged up a sweet replacement from a flashlight and duct tape. Abby Hadachek spotted this for us. This would be some creative thinking and completely not street legal anywhere in Colorado, so we hope that they got it fixed for real. We finish with your feedback as always. D. Sardisky writes to our bosses, how can you possibly allow the opinionated crap on Kyle Clark's television show? It should be canceled immediately. Also, a major apology to the public should be initiated because you even showed one episode. Tune in for that tomorrow night, D. Manuela writes, I moved here to work for 1 year, determined to hate everything and hurry back home. Well, I love your show. Thank you for making me feel welcome. It's been a good day at work, and that, Manuel, is probably the nicest thing that anybody said. See you next time.